All right, guys. This is my real quick version of how to do the steps in the final project. So you'll see I haven't completed the whole theater drawing, right, on this file, but I'm going to just move forward and go ahead and draft the stuff that I need from you in order to demonstrate your mastery of the Vectorworks software, because it's that time. So I'm going to start by drawing some walls in, as if I had designed a set for Blithe Spirit or whatever it is you people are all designing. Let's go into top plan view, Control 5. Okay. So let's assume I have some walls going on. I'm going to draw them on the scenery layer, right, instead of the theater floor plan layer. I'm not going to go all the way to the edges of the room just because it's a little unnecessary. So let's just do a relatively simple box set. Right, maybe something like that. And let's end it there. Okay, so let's say that's my wall. And then I also am going to use some curtains just to mask the edges of that set. Those are over here in soft goods, so do a little curtainy curtain. Okay. And over here, so they can use that entrance. Okay. So let's say this is my, wow, computer is slow. It's breaking Vectorworks over here. One moment. Oh, please. There we go. Okay, great. So let's say this is this, okay? These are my walls. The next step, they're very short. Let's make them a tiny bit taller. Not a lot taller, but a little bit. Let's go back into top plan view. Control 5. Right, so I'm selecting all of my walls. I'm going to change them all at once to be, oh, they're 10 feet. Let's make them 12. It's going to be a little more dramatic that way. And let's make the thickness only 3 inches because I'm not building a house. I'm just building some flats. I know you guys have some doors and windows, so I'm going to just throw a couple doors and windows into various walls along the way. Okay, that one's going to open out. Let's put my double window over here. And as I've shown you guys, if you click on settings, it opens up a world of possibilities that you can play with in order to get your window to look the way that you want it to. So for example, the casement by parting, now it has 2 windows that open, which is pretty fun. Let's make it a little wider, like 5 feet, or maybe even 6 feet wide. Right, so now it's that situation. I think it could be a little taller too. I'll just pop back into settings and change that there. Right, so my width, my height, maybe it should be 5 feet tall, right? The elevation of the wall is from the head of the window. If I want to add some mountains, right? Now it has like panes of glass. That's cute. Great. Okay, awesome. Good enough for now. Okay, so I have a window, I have a door, I have all of these little walls. Okay, so now I want to go and plate this drawing set. Yours is going to be more detailed, mine is just this stuff, okay? Let's go first into top plan view, Control 5. We'll assume that it's not a rainbow theater space anymore. It'll be your theater that you've drafted that looks better. But we'll start here, okay? Let's take this, create a viewport. That's over here in View, Create Viewport. It's going to go on the ground plan layer. Everybody's favorite layer. This is the ground plan, believe it or not. Okay. So now that will show up on your ground plan plate, right? And all of it should be in 1/4 inch scale because you want the whole theater to fit on your ground plan, okay? The next plate that I'm going to mess with, and this is going to be over here, is the section. I don't know if you have these same components in your sheets. If you do, great. If not, all good. We'll figure out how to get these things done using the templates that you do have. So my ground plan view is here. My section view, plate 2, is going to be based on my ground plan view. I'm going to double click on here. I'm going to go into annotations for my ground plan. Then I'm going to come over to the little pencil and the dimensions and notes. Down here, if I scroll down, there's a section elevation marker tool. What? It's cool though, because if I do this, and it makes a little arrow. A1, okay. And that should be all it takes. Let's see. No, it did not do it. Home paste. Create section viewport. That's what I want. So that was over in, let me escape back out of that. Over here, view, create section viewport right there. That's what you want. Then I'm going to click on my center line, and now there's an option of either to the left or to the right. I'm going to click to the right. Now it's going to give me a bunch of information about the section viewport that I'm clicking. Creating it on the section plate, that's layer 2. Drawing title is going to be section, believe it or not. The rest of this stuff is all good to go, okay? So let's click OK. Look, there it is. That's the section view, right? Yours is going to be better because it's going to have like walls of your theater, and it's going to have like seating risers and all that cool stuff that you drew through all of your working and all of your drawing. So that's your section view. You're good to go on that. The next thing we're going to do is create some elevations. And in order to do those also on ArchD, which is this big paper size, I'm just going to duplicate my section, and I'm going to change it, rename it to elevations, right? Or wall elevation, right? Okay, cool, cool, cool. All right, and if you come over here, there's another row all the way over here. You can grab that layer and drag it back up here so that it's above all of these other layers. You're not going to probably use these other two page types. Like, you're probably not going to use 11 by 17 or 8.5 by 11 unless you're doing this for a real show and you want to be able to print them out. But for us, we have a plotter, so we don't need to use those. So my wall elevation, plate 3, wall elevation. This is not what goes on that. This is the kind of confusing part. So I'm going to go back into scenery. Hey, scenery. So a thing that's going to happen, right, is I'm going to want to draw a elevation drawing, which is the front view, typically, most importantly, the front view for each of my walls. Okay, those elevations will then tell the shop what I need to have built. So I'm going to start with this first wall, and it's also going to say like where the layout of all of the stuff is on that wall, if there's art or if there's a mirror or whatever. All of those things, okay? If there's a door, where does that door go? So I'm going to start over here with my first wall. The thing about it is I need to look straight at the front of it, right? But right now it's like a weird slanty wall, not a straight to the front wall. So my first step is going to be to go around this ground plan and create a symbol for each section of wall. So I go to, is it view? Yeah, view, modify, create symbol, call it wall 1. Okay, I'm going to leave it right where it is. Great. Put it right into that destination folder. Same thing here with wall 2. Great. I'm going to just go through and do all of these, okay? Create symbol, wall 2, or wall B even. Let's do wall A, wall B. Let's rename that first one in a second. I'll show you how to do that. So I'm just going to do these 3 because that's as many as I'm requiring you to do, but if you have more time, do more because you're awesome, and we're going to show this all off at the end. So the more practice you have, the easier this is going to be. All right, so I've now created these 3 symbols. One of them I named wrongly. So if I go into my file, I can be like wall 1, WTF wall 1, right click on it, and I can rename it. Let's call it wall A for clarity. Specify name. Great. Okay, so now that I have all of these, I'm going to come back over here. I'm going to create a new design layer. I did that by right-clicking into the box, and I'm going to call this drafting. Or wall drafting, to be even more specific, right? If there are other types of drafting, they will go there too. Wall drafting. Okay, great. Wall drafting. Hey, new layer. Okay, so new layer. I'm going to go away from the theater, because it's not helpful to me right now. I don't actually need any of that. And I actually can even turn off all this noise because it's not making any freaking difference to what I'm looking at, okay? I'm just going to be over here drafting these walls. I'm going to grab wall A by double clicking on it. It's a symbol, so it'll let me do that. And then I'm going to zoom in, and we're going to get it nice and horizontal, which is easier said than done. And that's okay, because I can grab my rotate tool once I've dropped it down, and I can bring it right up to horizontal. So this is the ideal orientation, right? Because now I'm looking at the front of it. I'm going to next do that with each of my walls, okay? So that they're almost like that piece of paper you guys did with Miss Amanda where it was all straight across in one line. That's what we're doing now with all of our drafted walls, okay? I'm just going to make sure all of these are nice and horizontal using my rotate tool. So I'll click on each side and then I'll hold shift to make sure that they're square to the surface plane. I just held alt in order to pick that guy up. Make sure it's nice and square. Okay, so you'll do this for all of your walls, not just these three, but I'm starting out just with these three because these are the ones I need right now. My next step is going to be to do those front elevations. So I'm going to go from this top plan view into the front view. Now I'm looking straight at the front of each of these walls. Believe it or not, there it is, wall number whatever. Right now I'm in a cute little render view, but I can switch myself back into a wireframe view, which is going to do a little better for me. So front, wireframe view. Great. Okay. So these are my three walls. I'm going to now create viewports for each one, and they're going to land on this wall elevation page. So if I go to view, create viewport, okay, this is going to go on plate 3, wall elevation. It's going to be drawing A1, and the drawing title is going to be wall A front, okay? So that A is in the drawing number, and it's also in the wall name, and in a moment we'll go back and crop down, right, because I don't actually need all three of these, I just need wall A. I also can make this a larger scale because typically your elevations would be in 1/2 inch scale. You're able to get more detail, and they are a detail drawing, so that's what you'd want. So now I'd go in here and I'd adjust my crop like you do, just the way you always have, okay? All of this stuff works exactly the same as you ever have done it, so we'll just... I grabbed the rounded rectangle tool, don't know why, that's okay though. Annotations, okay. So this is my wall A front elevation, right? Scale 1/2 inch, A1, cool. My next elevation would actually be the top elevation. So you would do the same thing from the top view. And then I want you to do some quick dimensions. So I've lost a little bit of the corners of my life. So let's come in. Where's my regular dimension tool? Right. And dimension this wall that I just randomly drew. 12 feet tall, 7 feet wide. Okay. You would also dimension where your other stuff goes, like your windows and whatnot. If you want to be like Lily, you would turn these things blue, because then you can see the difference between your dimension lines and your drawing lines. Okay, so that is the front elevation. Okay, I want you to do that for 3 of them. I also want you to do a top elevation. Same basic process, but going from your top view. So you'll go back over into wall drafting. Okay, and that right now is in a front view, but if you go into top plan, now you're in a top view, and you can grab a viewport of that from the top view. So you'll go through, do each one. I need at least 3 walls on that plate, and then the last step is going to be to go back into your ground plan. Okay, go back into the ground plan, and we're going to label each of these walls, right, by their corresponding drawing. Okay, so if I go into here and I go into annotations like this, beautiful, lovely, wonderful, I can get a reference marker out, okay? And I can point at this wall. And I can say, this is an elevation. Drawing number is going to be a sheet number is going to be 3, okay? That is wall A. It's on sheet 3. This is not wall A. It's wall B on sheet 3. This up here is going to be wall C on sheet 3, okay? I betcha I can get D on sheet 3 also, okay? So I'm making these drawing labels match, right, the name of the symbol, okay, and they're going to match the letter of the drawing label on sheet 3. So when I come back to sheet 3, where the heck is sheet 3? What's going on, man? Zoom to my page. Thank you. All of these A drawings are going to be about wall A. Okay? Then I go back to my ground plan. There it is. Wall A is right there. Okay? So that's how you label your drawing so that it is clear what things are what. You can also add notes, which is super helpful. So you can grab this call out tool and you can be like, hey, this window does this thing, and you type it in and you hit enter, and then you'll have a notation, okay? And anything else you'll ask me on the day, which is today and tomorrow and the next 2 days, and then this class is over and I'll never teach you again. Okay, let me stop this recording. Stop.